Ni hao ma. Hello, this is Missouri Old Dog New Tricks, back with another video. Today we're doing a book talk. Our book today is Devil in a Blue Dress by Walter Mosley. Walter Mosley was born January 12th, 1952 in Los Angeles, California. Mosley is of Jewish and African American ancestry. He has won numerous awards, too many to name here. Mosley lives in Brooklyn, New York, and is the author of more than 25 books. Listen to this excerpt from The Devil in a Blue Dress. I was surprised to see a white man walk into Joppy's bar. It's not just that he was white, but he wore an off-white linen suit and shirt with a Panama straw hat and bone shoes over flashing white silk socks. His skin was smooth and pale with just a few freckles. One lick of strawberry blonde hair escaped the band of his hat. He stopped in the doorway, filling it with his large frame, and surveyed the room with pale eyes, not a color I'd ever seen in a man's eyes. When he looked at me, I felt a thrill of fear, but that went away quickly because I was used to white people by 1948. I had spent 5 years with white men and women from Africa to Italy, through Paris and into the fatherland itself. I ate with them and slept with them, and I killed enough blue-eyed young men to know that they were just as afraid to die as I was. The white man smiled at me. Then he walked to the bar where Joppy was running a filthy rag over the marble top. They shook hands and exchanged greetings like old friends. The second thing that surprised me was that he made Joppy nervous. Joppy was a tough ex-heavyweight who was comfortable brawling in the ring or in the street, but he ducked his head and smiled at the white man just like a salesman whose luck had gone bad. I put $1 down on the bar and made to leave, but before I was off the stool, Joppy turned my way and waved me toward them. Come on over here, Easy. This here is somebody I want you to meet. I could feel those pale eyes on me. This here is an old friend of mine's, Easy, Mr. Albright. You can call me DeWitt, Easy, the white man said. His grip was strong but slithery, like a snake coiling around my hand. Hello, I said. Yeah, Easy, Joppy went on, bowing and grinning. Mr. Albright and me go way back. You know, he probably my oldest friend from LA. Yeah, we go ways back. That's right, Albright smiled. It must have been 1935 when I met Jock. What is it now? Must be 13 years. That was back before the war, before every farmer and his brother's wife wanted to come to LA. Joppy golfed at the joke. I smiled politely. I was wondering what kind of business Joppy had with that man, and along with that, I wondered what kind of business that man could have with me. Where you from, Easy? Mr. Albright asked. Houston. Houston, that's a nice town. I go down there sometimes on business. He smiled for a moment. He had all the time in the world. What kind of work you do up here? Up close, his eyes were the color of robin's eggs, matte and dull. He worked at Champion Aircraft up to 2 days ago, Joppy said, when I didn't answer. They laid him off. Mr. Albright twisted his pink lips, showing his distaste. That's too bad. You know, these big companies don't give a damn about you. The budget doesn't balance just right, and they let 10 family men go. You have a family, Easy? He had a light drawl, like a well-to-do Southern gentleman. No, just me. That's all, I said. But they don't know that. For all they know, you could have 10 kids and one on the way, but they let you go just the same. That's right, Joppy shouted. His voice sounded like a regiment of men marching through a gravel pit. Them people own them big companies don't never even come in to work. They just get on the telephone to find out how their money is, and you know they better get a good answer or some heads gonna roll. Mr. Albright laughed and slapped Joppy on the arm. Why don't you get us some drinks, Joppy? I'll have scotch. What's your pleasure, Easy? Usual? Joppy asked me. Sure. When Joppy moved away from us, Mr. Albright turned to look around the room. He did that every few minutes, turning slightly, checking to see if anything had changed. There wasn't much to see, though. Joppy's was a small bar on the second floor of a butcher's warehouse. His only usual customers were the Negro butchers, and it was early enough in the afternoon they were still hard at work. The odor of rotted meat filled every corner of the building. There were few people, other than butchers, who could stomach sitting in Joppy's bar. Joppy brought Mr. Albright scotch and a bourbon on the rocks for me. He put them both down and said, Mr. Albright looking for a man to do a little job, Easy. I told him you out of work and got a mortgage to pay. That's hard, Mr. Albright shook his head again. Men in big business don't even notice or care when a working man wants to try to make something out of himself. And you know, Easy always trying to do better. He just got his high school papers from night school, and he been threatening on some college. Joppy wiped the marble bar as he spoke. And he's a war hero, Mr. Albright. Easy went in with Patton. Volunteered. You know, he's seen him some blood. That a fact, Albright said. He wasn't impressed. Why don't we go have a chair, Easy, over there by the window? Joppy's windows were so dingy that you couldn't see out onto 103rd Street. But if you sat at a small cherry table next to them, at least you had the benefit of the dull glow of daylight. You got a mortgage to meet, huh, Easy? The only thing that's worse than a big company is the bank. They want their money on the first, and if you miss the payment, they will have the marshal knocking down your door on the second. What's my business got to do with you, Mr. Albright? I don't want to be rude, but I just met you 5 minutes ago, and now you want to know all my business? Well, I thought that Joppy said you needed to get work, or you were going to lose your house. What's that got to do with you? I just might need a bright pair of eyes and ears to do a little job for me, Easy. And what kind of work is it that you do? I asked. I should have gotten up and walked out of there, but he was right about my mortgage. He was also right about the banks, too. I used to be a lawyer when I lived in Georgia, but now I'm just another fella who does favors for friends and for friends of friends. What kind of favors? I don't know, Easy. He shrugged his great white shoulders. Whatever somebody might need. Let's say that you need to get a message to someone, but it's not convenient for you to do it in person. Well, then you call me and I take the job. You see, I always do the job I'm asked to do. Everybody knows that, so I always have lots of work. And sometimes I need a little helper to get the job done. That's where you come in. And how is that, I asked. While he talked, it dawned on me that Albright was a lot like a friend of mine I had back in Texas. Raymond Alexander was his name, but we called him Mouse. Just thinking about Mouse set my teeth on edge. I need to find somebody, and I might need a little help looking. And who is it you want to? Easy, he interrupted. I can tell that you're a smart man with a lot of very good questions, and I'd like to talk more about it, but not here. From his shirt pocket, he produced a white card and a white enameled fountain pen. He scrawled on the card and then handed it to me. Talk to Joppy about me, and then if you want to try it out, come to my office anytime after 7 tonight. He downed the shot, smiled at me again, stood up, straightened his cuffs. He tilted the Panama hat on his head and saluted Joppy, who grinned and waved from behind the bar. Then Mr. DeWitt Albright strolled out of Joppy's place like a regular customer going home after his afternoon snort. The card had his name printed on it in flourished letters. Below that was the address he'd scribbled. It was a downtown address, a long drive from Watts. I noticed that Mr. DeWitt Albright didn't pay for the drinks he ordered. Joppy didn't seem in a hurry to ask for his money, though. Walter Mosley is one of my favorite writers. The Easy Rawlings series is, in my opinion, a must-read. When I first read Devil in a Blue Dress, I was hooked instantly. Mosley's skills of storytelling and character development are excellent. Easy Rawlings is a brave, intelligent, and resourceful thinker. Other than Easy, one of my favorite characters is Easy's friend Mouse. Mouse is a dangerous man. In fact, he is a killer. Mouse is also the perfect friend for Easy and the type of friend we all wish we had in our lives. Let's rank this book. Content, 5 out of 5. The story of deception and redemption is masterfully told by Mosley. Vocabulary, 5 of 5. The book is easy to read and it lends itself to vocabulary building. And our third area, character development, 5 of 5. This is perhaps Mosley's greatest strength. I find his characters to be deep, insightful, and completely entertaining. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Missouri Old Dog's New Tricks. Bye now.